Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video today I want us to discuss about control structures or loops as used in R programming. So let's get started. A loop is a program that is a program that normally executes or run at a given number of times. So what type of loops do we have in R? We have the if statement, we have the if else, we have the for loop, we have while loops, and we have the repeat and the break statement. And we also have nested ifs, nested loops. Of course, you're going to see the nested if nested if else, and we also have the next statement. So an if statement is normally executed only when the test expression is true. So this is the test expression that is normally put under test, as you're going to see in later in the programming section. So if this statement evaluates to give a true, then this one is going, if the test returns a true value, then this is the statement that is going to be executed. And if it's not, then nothing is going to happen because there is no expression. And the next loop that we're going to look at is the if else statement, which of course complements the if statement. So if this statement is true, the test is true, then statement 1 is going to be executed. And if this test evaluates to false, then the statement 2 is going to be evaluated. We also have the if else statement, which is it just performs the same operations as the previous if else, but the only difference is the syntax. As you can see here, we have an if else and it does a test. If it is true, it's going to return statement 1, and if it is false, it's going to return statement number 2. The next one is the if else statement, and we are also going to do a practical of all these loops. So this one is a nested if else statement, and then we go to a for loop. A for loop, of course, it iterates a given code chunk in a repeated execution, especially in a vector. So it normally iterates, like let's say for example data elements in a vector can be iterated through using a for loop, and this is the syntax for the for loop. And then we have a nested for loop. Of course, we can have as many as you can have as many for loops as you want. The next loop that we also going to look on is the while loop, which only executes if the test condition is true. So if the test condition is true, it's going to iterate. And these are some of the loops that I'm going to show you how you have to be careful with them, because they can normally execute infinitely if you're not careful with them. And another loop that we're going to look at is the repeat and the break statement. And the repeat statement is going to perform this condition infinitely, but then we have the break statement, which is going to break the loop, because this is going to, the repeat and the while, they're going to, if you're not careful with them, they're going to iterate infinitely. And that's when the break function function comes in, because it breaks the loop, the termination of a certain code chunk. The next one is we have the next statement. Now this statement normally make sure that, for example, you are doing a certain, you want to print a certain vector, but you want to not to print a certain number. So this next statement, when the condition is true, it's going to omit printing that particular element of the vector. So let's go to the coding part. Let's go to the programming. Make sure you head to your R Studio. Now this is R Studio. I've already made my R. I've already made my R. So what we are going to do here is just do a little of introduction. We're going to do a little of introduction. You can just write these loops, control structures. Okay, probably most of the videos guys have seen me using this hash sign. That is how you can add comments in R. So we're going to start with the if statement. We're going to start with the if statement. So we're going to perform some simple operations. We're going to perform some simple operations. So let's assign. Let me just give it a certain number. Like we can say, if we can, let's say, just give it a number of x. No, let's just define a vector. Let's define a new vector, and then we can give it from number 1 up to 10. So I want us to check for, now let us just want to check for even numbers. Check for even numbers in vec1. Want to check if this vec1 contains some even numbers. So normally check for even numbers. That means that if any number is an even number, let's say for example, I can just show you an example. If 2, we're going to use this modulus, that means it's an even number because it doesn't have a remainder. If it is 10, it's supposed to be 0, but if it's something like 5, the remainder is supposed to be 1, and so on. So if this number is going to be, if the modulus of any vec number here, it's going to be a 0. So okay, we need a for loop here. So let's just change this to like let's leave it at 10. For that to be to do a vector, we need a for loop. So let us just make things simple for now. So you can just say if vec1 okay, you can also rename this one to just x. So if x then the modulus of 2 equals to 0. If it's equals to 0, then this means that this is a it's going to be you can do a print you can print x, you can print x. Then you can also use this paste function, print x, or you can okay, just a minute. Okay, let's just do this. You can just print x. So let's see what happens. So it's going to print 10. So because 10 is an even number, so what if we just give it a number like 9? Let's see if it's going to print it down. As you can see, guys, it only executes when this is true. So it has looked for modulus and it's not equals to 0, because if you look at the remainder here, it's going to give you a 1 because that's the remainder, and since it's not equals to 0, it's not going to execute anything because we're not giving it an elf statement. So let's try another number like 4 to see if our program is okay. Yeah, so our program is running so well. So this is a simple if statement. So if this one if for the 4 modulus 2 is going to be equals to 0, then it's going to print x, because x is the modulus is 0. That means it is an even number. So to make it if you want to, like, you can just use the paste function, paste x, and then you say is an even number. So let's try this out. 4 is an even number. Let's give it a 5 and see if it's gonna print anything. So nothing is printed because we haven't given it the else statement. So guys, let's continue. Let's do an if else statement, and then we're going to stop there for now because the video is getting too long. So if else statement, I'm just gonna use the same code. You can just copy it, paste it here. So we're going to say if just gonna have to paste x, then we say is an odd number. So now we've given it a 5. Let's come here. It's 5 is an odd number, so it has just looked at the modulus of 5 and said, hey, the modulus is 2, so that means it's not equal to 0. So it's going to, this expression here is going to output false, and if else statement is going to be executed when the statement is false, and that's why it's executing this. So if we give it a 2, of course it's going to execute the first one. See, 2 is an even number. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. We are going to proceed with the if else and the nested loops and so on. So if you're new here guys, please support my channel by subscribing and watching my videos. Leave a comment, and thank you guys. See you in the next video.